Thanks for staying with us on our 6 Plus live stream today. It is 4 o'clock. I wanted to give you another hourly update on what's going on. We're starting to see things ramp up just a little bit. We're still not seeing the solid coverage all across central Texas, but we are seeing a couple of areas where we're seeing some fairly heavy precipitation falling. The first area I want to look at is going to be up around Bosque and Hill counties. This is an area of sleet that's moved across parts of Coryell County, started off in Lampasas County and has now moved, like I said, into Bosque and Hill counties. And notice these symbols. That's right, we're dealing with thundersleet. That's right, you can have thunderstorms when we're dealing with winter precipitation. You can have thunder snow, you can even have thunder sleet as we're seeing, and it's sometimes kind of really interesting to see. So if you can get a glimpse of that, it's kind of cool. But again, definitely do not recommend driving in it. So because remember, what is sleet? Sleet is ice pellets falling from the sky. And from some of the video we saw out of Coryell County, it looks like there is a lot of it falling out of the sky with this particular storm. So a heavy sleet storm right here that's moving again across parts of Bosque and Hill counties and continuing to move off to the northeast. Again, just a couple of thunderbolts there as we've seen this kind of come across from southwest to northeast. Again, kind of a cool sight to see. Kind of scary when you think about it. It's definitely not something you see every day when you start to see that thunder mixing in with this wintry precipitation. So that's what's going on up there. Do want to point this out. We're now starting to see some freezing precipitation, some freezing rain right now from Milam County up towards Robertson County. So starting to see that freezing line, those freezing temperatures, sub 32-degree temperatures starting to move into parts of the Brazos Valley. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. But if you look down towards College Station, the Bryan area, still seeing rain. Same thing in Grimes County there. Same thing in parts of Madison County. So again, still going to be a little while before we see that transition kind of fully envelop the entire area. And again, it's just a couple more hours there for the Brazos Valley where we'll continue to see rain falling. Here's the thing. Across the state, you may be thinking, looking at this thinking, we've overhyped it and it's not going to happen because we've lured you into that false sense of security here because we've had a break for the better part of the afternoon. But take a look back to the west and remember, this whole system, this low pressure system that's sending all this our direction is moving from west to east. So it's going to get closer and closer. Right now, we're seeing a wide swath of sleet falling across parts of the Concho Valley, the Permian Basin there. And again, that is going to continue to move off to the east here through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. So we are not done. If you're looking outside thinking nothing has happened, again, there's more still on the way. And other parts of Texas, just to kind of go over real quick, we're seeing some snow falling from Wichita Falls back towards Lubbock. Again, I don't expect a lot of snow from us. Did see some potential lake effect snow this morning coming off of Stillhouse Hollow Lake and there in Killeen. And so again, sometimes you get some of these very interesting phenomena, but for the most part, we are expecting mainly freezing rain and sleet with this system. Where are our temperatures right now? Well, they haven't moved really all that much. So at 2 o'clock, it was 19 degrees in Hamilton. Right now, it is 18 degrees in Hamilton. We've gone down 1 degree there. It was 36 degrees in College Station at 2 o'clock. In the last 2 hours, we've gone down to 35. So again, with the cloud cover and kind of a steady dose of those north winds, things are staying fairly consistent. Again, we'll continue to see them kind of stay where they are before dropping as we head into the late night hours tonight. I want to talk about something real quick. So, talked about this 2 o'clock. I want to talk about it again just to kind of go back over it. When we talk about these winter precipitation events, we talk about the surface temperatures a lot. One thing that we can't ignore, though, is the vertical profile of the atmosphere. Basically, what's happening from the ground up through the clouds, right? And so when we talk about that, we have to take a look at what's called an atmospheric sink. So twice a day, each National Weather Service office launches a balloon into the atmosphere. That balloon then tracks temperature and dew point, so again, how much moisture is in the air and how warm the air is, all the way up through the atmosphere, right? And so for the most part, as you go through this lowest level of the atmosphere, it typically tends to decrease temperature with height, but sometimes we get what's called an inversion. So when we look at this, where are our temperatures, right? So that's all we need to know. What are the temperatures looking like? Well, we take a look at these diagonal blue lines. These are what we call isotherms. It's just a fancy line. It's a fancy name that means line of constant temperature. So I'm going to highlight the 32-degree isotherm for you because that is the important one when we're talking about frozen precipitation. At the surface, this was from 6 o'clock this morning in Fort Worth. You can see it was about 26 degrees at the surface at 6 o'clock this morning. Temperatures steadily increased with height. That tells you it was a very thin layer of freezing air near the surface. And by the time we got to about 3,700 feet, guess what happened? We jumped back above that freezing mark and we stayed there. Anything on this side of that blue line, above freezing. Anything on that side of the blue line is below freezing. So again, if you want snow, you have to have this entire profile. These red and green lines have to be on that side of the blue line. Anytime it jumps back above, that snow falling out of the clouds melts. And so that's what's happening right now, right? So basically you have your cloud level up here, snow falls, hits this warm layer, melts into water, so a raindrop effectively, and then once it gets back down here close to the surface is below freezing. So what happens is it melts and then it refreezes before it gets to the surface. That's how you can get sleet and freezing rain. So that's what we're dealing with. If you wanted snow, again, you would need this to all be on that side of the blue line. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. And it doesn't look like it's going to be the case through tonight and tomorrow either. We're going to keep things a little bit warmer there in kind of that middle layer of the atmosphere, and that's going to cause all those snowflakes to melt into water before refreezing into either freezing rain or sleet. So how do we get the difference between all these? Well, if you have an entire column of air that is above freezing, it's just going to be rain. If you have that deep layer of warm air like you just saw in that sounding I just showed you, it starts as snow, melts into rain, freezes on contact because it doesn't have enough time to refreeze before it hits the ground. If you want, if you're talking about sleet, you have a thin layer of that above freezing air, falls through, melts into water, refreezes before it gets to the ground. That's how you get sleet. That's what they were seeing in Coryell County a little bit earlier. And if you want snow, your entire column of air has to be below freezing. And it's just really hard for us to do here in Texas, really hard for us to do in the South. We don't get a lot of these snow events. We get primarily ice events because there is usually that warm layer of air somewhere in the atmosphere that causes that snow to melt and then refreeze. So again, that was a lot. I know it was. Just understand that anytime we're looking at these vertical profiles, if there is any part of the atmosphere that's above freezing, you're not going to get snow, unfortunately. So our weather impact alert goes through Tuesday morning. Obviously, the freezing rain and sleet that we've already talked about, very cold temperatures, that is also a part of it. And your need is to continue to pay attention. Remember those 4 Ps, pets, pipes, plants, and people. Again, I took my pets out this morning, left them outside for about a minute and a half because that was about all I felt comfortable with. Covered the outdoor faucets, and we kept a sink dripping inside the house. And as far as your the people around you, just make sure everybody's doing okay. Just in case we lose power, just check on those that are around you and make sure everybody is making it through. All right, let's talk about your forecast. Again, we're going to see all this activity kind of pick back up here over the next couple of hours. A solid dose of the freezing rain and sleet possible there through the late night hours. And then as we head into the overnight and tomorrow morning, everything starts to shift back off to the east and we're done. We're done with the precipitation. However, temperatures will stay below freezing. So what does that mean? It means anything that is on the ground already will not melt. So if you look at our forecast here of 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice accumulation, if we never get above freezing, it's never going to melt. So that's the problem. It's going to stay with us through Monday and potentially into Tuesday morning as well, because take a look at your temperatures here. By the time we get to tomorrow morning, we're in the teens. Tomorrow afternoon, we only rebound into the 20s. By the time we get to Sunday morning, could be even colder, closer to 10 degrees. And then as we get towards Monday afternoon, take a look. We keep those temperatures below freezing Monday afternoon. And then by Monday evening and into Tuesday morning, could be the coldest morning we've seen yet with temperatures in the single digits. Wind chill values could be even colder than that by Sunday morning. We're talking about it feeling like it's right around 0 degrees. By Monday morning, it could feel like it's anywhere between -5 and -10 across central Texas. So because of that, yes, we are dealing with bitterly cold air, dangerously cold air. If you go outside with exposed skin, we're talking hypothermia, we're talking frostbite, things like that. So again, I would not go out if you don't have to. Just make sure you're staying inside, staying warm. Again, here's your weather impact alert tomorrow, Monday, first half of Tuesday. By Tuesday afternoon, we climb back above freezing. That will help melt everything that's on the roads by the time we get to Tuesday afternoon. By Wednesday, we're back into kind of a moderate range of temperatures. 45, still cool, but it's not below freezing. It will be below freezing, though, more than likely for your Wednesday and Thursday mornings. And then as we head into the weekend, Friday night to Saturday morning, that's right, we could be talking about another storm potentially, which could bring us another chance maybe for some wintry mix. Now, that's 7 days away. We're going to keep an eye on it, but we're not really talking about that right now. Do want to get you through the rest of this weekend. So just make sure you keep it right here on your 6 Plus app. We'll have our radar continuing to run. Our hourly forecast updates will continue to run. And of course, we will have another update with the rest of the news team coming up at 5 o'clock. And then we will have 6 News at 6. And then we'll have half-hour updates after that, all the way through 10 o'clock. All that to say, we'll be here with you throughout the rest of the weekend. So make sure you stay right here on your 6 Plus app.